Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Motorboating with Mammeries. This is Tanks for the Mammeries playing World of Warships closed beta test. And I wanted to chat with you briefly today because I have a new update for you, a news flash on an upcoming patch, which is 0.3.1.5, and it will be coming out tomorrow, June 18th, sometime between 7:30 and 8:30 in the morning Eastern Time, or maybe 7 o'clock to 8:30 in the morning Eastern Time, U.S. The 3.1.5 patch has got some significant changes to it, as well as some bug fixes and things like that. So what I thought I'd do briefly with you is go over what is coming up in the patch and let you guys go ahead and get out there and start complaining on the forums and pulling your hair and gnashing your teeth about how bad these buffs and nerfs and things are going to be for whatever your choice of ship is. Anyway, one of the biggest things that's going on right now is that there is what's called the Slim Client coming out, and the Slim Client is actually a less graphically intensive version of World of Warships for those players who are either using their grandfather's abacus or a potato for a laptop. What you'll be able to do is download a smaller version of the client, which will only have a few of the maps and some of the lower tier ships in the game. You will be able to download the more complete version later on if you want to get a better computer. But if you're playing with a speak and spell right now, then you will be able to download what's called the Slim Client, which will, in essence, work with lower internet speeds. It's a smaller size game client. It only has the ships and maps necessary for an early ship career. The initial download and installation of the game will be shorter, and the remaining download can be completed later. The next big thing is the 2 top Japanese aircraft carriers will be coming into the game for everyone to earn. I recall that they had only offered those to a few players for testing purposes, but as of this next patch starting tomorrow, 3.1.5, the Tier 9 and Tier 10 Japanese aircraft carriers will be in the game for everyone to earn. Next thing is some big changes to air squadron use as well as air defense. And I'll read this and try and clarify a little bit about what it is that they said to you. So if I'm not looking at the camera, it's because I'm reading the patch notes and want to then clarify sort of what they're saying. In essence, there are many ships in the game who have poor air defense, and aircraft carriers have been able to use fighter aircraft to keep an eye on enemy destroyers and cruisers, because in many cases the air defense of destroyers and some of the lighter cruisers wasn't significant enough to cause any trouble to the aircraft carriers. And they're going to make some changes that affect that pretty significantly. So essentially what they're saying is that battleships and destroyers have become easy prey for aircraft carriers, especially at the higher tiers, because carriers can simply group their squadrons together just outside of range and wait for the battleship to get distracted or wait for an opportune moment and then send everything in at once to land an alpha strike that does a significant amount of damage to that ship. And basically a lot of the non-aircraft carrier players were saying that the higher tier aircraft carriers were OP. To level the playing field, what's happening now is that World of Warships is going to change air defense effectiveness for larger caliber anti-aircraft guns by 50% on average. So anything with a 99 millimeters or higher, which can be used as anti-aircraft defense weaponry, will get a boost of about 50% on average. However, that's going to make the aircraft carriers' aircraft lives a little harder, so they're going to have to be more careful and more thoughtful with their aircraft, because that's going to increase the density of air defense at a greater distance. So the 99 millimeter anti-aircraft armament will be more effective at a greater distance. The next thing is, well, let me give an explanation about that. So for example, right now, the Fletcher, which in version 3.1.4 requires about 140 seconds to shoot down an airplane found on the USS Lexington. So, you know, tier 9, whatever, aircraft. A Fletcher requires 140 seconds on regular anti-aircraft fire to shoot down one Lexington aircraft on average. If you were to prioritize that aircraft squadron to your anti-aircraft fire, it would take approximately 100 seconds. So you shave about 40 seconds off your effectiveness if you prioritize that aircraft for your anti-aircraft defense. It's going to change. So in the patch 3.1.5, if you are firing at say you're in the Fletcher again and you're firing at the same Lexington's aircraft, it will take you approximately 100 seconds to shoot down the aircraft, and 70 seconds if you prioritize that squadron with your anti-aircraft fire. So it's shaving off 40 seconds on regular play and about 30 seconds when you prioritize it. So you won't be able to immediately wipe out all the planes, but you will be more effective with your anti-aircraft fire. In conjunction with the changes in the workings of the air defense as I just described, the power of fire support gear will increase. This reinforces the move to protect against air attacks. Cruisers will become even more difficult targets for aircraft carriers. So that's something important to pay attention to. But there are a couple of nerfs coming within this as well, so aircraft carrier drivers, don't freak out just yet. Now, this is not the only change to air defense workings. Not everything is a buff. The medium caliber air defense weapons, which are the 40 caliber or the 40 millimeter Bofors cannons and the double mounts, the triple mounts, whatever they are, quadruple mounts, on the Iowa will be reduced, and in some cases up to 40% depending on the configuration of your Iowa. So you will lose a significant amount of firepower in your anti-aircraft defense with the change in 3.1.5. Again, the Iowa will lose up to 40% of its anti-aircraft defensive power in the upcoming patch. This battleship will still have the most effective anti-aircraft defense for her tier, but it will no longer just reap aircraft like it used to. There were apparently examples where Iowa drivers were able to shoot down 80 aircraft in certain battles. So they're trying to make it so that the Iowa is not impervious to air attack. They're hoping that these changes in air defense will improve the aspects of the gameplay, and they're waiting for feedback. Another major anti-aircraft power reduction is in the Cleveland, and the Cleveland will have her medium caliber gun power reduced as well. So the Cleveland will be losing a significant portion of her anti-aircraft defense capabilities. However, the fire support ability, where you designate or highlight an enemy squadron for a priority fire, that will be increased to 40 seconds from 20 seconds. So you get an extra 20 seconds worth of heavier anti-aircraft fire if you designate an anti-aircraft target, but you will lose some of your guns. So that's a sort of a trade-off there. They're hoping balances that out a little bit. Another thing that's really important that I think is really interesting, and I'm sorry I missed this. I really would have liked to have seen this. And if anybody, calling all of you out there who watch this video, if any of you have a replay of the next bug, please send it to me. I would very much like to see it, and I will be happy to put it on my channel and show the world and give you all the credit for it. So if you have a copy of this next bug, please do let me know about it so I can show it on my channel and talk about it. The bug is called the Pyromaniac bug. And the Pyromaniac bug popped up in the last couple of weeks, where if you have a ship captain who has the Pyromania ability fully researched on his as a crew skill for the captain, and you switch him from whatever ship he's in to cross-train him into a different ship, typically the captain's skills are degraded when they cross-train into a new ship by about 50%. Well, in the case of this Pyromaniac bug, when a ship captain transferred from one ship to another ship to cross-train or to retrain, instead of his Pyromania skill degrading by 50%, it increased by 500%. So anybody who was cross-training a captain, instead of losing the skill by 50%, or losing the skill's effectiveness by 50%, it increased by 500%. So I could just imagine people out there who got into the Atlanta and had a 500% skill increase in Pyromania going into battle, and I'm sure there were people that just quit the game because of it. Excuse me. Could you imagine having a 500% increase in skill? You'd be lighting stuff on fire just by looking at it. So if you ever replay that, I'd love to see it. But anyway, that error has been fixed, that bug has been fixed, the bug has been squashed, and they are going to be doing more study on the issue of fires on the game. One reason is, the main reason is because they think that it's having a negative impact on general statistics. So they are going to be reevaluating the fire effect in the game. I think that it's probably, I think that people are able to set stuff on fire too easily. I think that, I do like the fact that the fire does damage, and I appreciate that, but I think that the fire is sort of too effective now, because armor piercing shells are so much less effective now. So I think there's still some more balance they need to do in the area of the amount of damage the gunfire of both types does on ships. So that's basically the big news. I'll go over the patch notes here quickly with you guys, so that you can see, well, so you can understand what the rest of the patches are in 3.1.5. So 2 seconds. Okay, so here I'm going to just basically read directly from the patch notes for you guys, so I don't miss anything here. The update 3.1.5, which will come out in the morning, 7 o'clock to 8:30 U.S. East Coast time on Thursday the 18th of June, is as follows. Tier 9 and 10 Japanese aircraft carriers have been added to the Japanese tree. That is the Taiho and the Hakuryu. Hakuryu and Taiho. Anyway, they've been added to the Japanese tree line. The slim client prototype for player testing is being included, so those of you with your grandfather's abacus, a speak and spell, or a potato will be able to have a less intensive game client that doesn't load as many files and things like that onto your computing device, so that you can play the game easier. The Conquest game mode is being temporarily removed. They are going to do some more balancing and testing of it, but the Conquest game mode, which was just introduced, is being taken out of the game temporarily. The increase in defensive anti-aircraft fire for guns over 99 millimeters is going up by 50%. So again, big anti-aircraft guns of 99 millimeters is going to be, the effectiveness will be increased by 50%. A decrease in the effectiveness of the defensive power of 40 millimeter anti-aircraft guns. Again, decrease in the effective power of anti-aircraft guns of 40 millimeters, which means that, for example, the North Carolina will be decreased by 50 to 63% in anti-aircraft fire effectiveness, depending on its configuration. Again, a decrease for the North Carolina of 50 to 63%. A decrease in Iowa of 50%, depending on the configuration of the ship. The Montana will be decreased by 27.5%, depending on its configuration and anti-aircraft defensive power. The Cleveland has been decreased by 40%, but its fire supportability is increased from 20 seconds to 40 seconds to compensate. They again fixed the bug with a Pyromaniac commander's ability. They fixed a bug causing oddly shaped geometric artifacts to appear on ships, which I had a good number of last week, including my replay of the Iowa, where I got in game. It was almost unplayable. I got in game and the ship just sprouted all kinds of weird artifacts all over it. Didn't happen every single time, didn't happen to every ship, but it did happen enough that it was very, very difficult to play the game. Although when I posted the Iowa replay onto YouTube, the artifacts were not there. So some people are seeing it, I guess some people aren't, but that's being fixed. The increase in the amount of time before the battle starts from 15 seconds to 30 seconds. There were a lot of people complaining about how other ships were already moving before they even loaded into the game, but they are increasing the wait time from 15 to 30 seconds. They fixed the description of the Conquest game mode during the download screen, although Conquest game mode has been pulled, so I don't know that that really makes a difference to anyone. They have fixed network server settings. They've updated those, so there should be a significant reduction in the amount of lag in the game. Yay! Reduction in lag, which should also make people load faster. They fixed an issue causing a ship to be displayed as in battle when you are watching the post-battle survey screen. So when it gives you the results at the end of the battle or whatever, and it says your ship is still in battle, they're fixing that bug. And then the last one that they have mentioned here that they're talking about is a fixed an issue preventing players from being able to press the join battle button from the squad screen. So if you are in a division, I guess, and you go to press the battle button, sometimes you're unable to do that from that screen. So apparently they fixed that bug as well. Anyway, that's really it for today. Just wanted to get the information out to you guys. This is just came out about an hour and a half ago. The rest of the week, the server is online all week long. The patch will be coming, according to World of Warships, tomorrow, June 18th at approximately 7 o'clock in the morning, East Coast time. So get in there. If you've been saving up your free XP to get the Japanese carriers, you're in luck. They're coming in now. For those of you who have the Iowa, the North Carolina, the Montana, and the Cleveland, you are going to learn to play a bit differently when going up against aircraft, because the aircraft are going to be more effective pretty much starting tomorrow. So anyway, just be aware of that. Those of you using an abacus, a potato, or a speak and spell to play World of Warships on, you're in luck. The game is going to be changed, so you should have an easier time of it. Anyway, that's it from Tanks for the Mammeries, Motorboating with Mammeries, playing World of Warships closed beta test. I will hopefully be on this evening, but otherwise I look forward to seeing you out there on the high seas. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you find the content interesting. I would very much appreciate your support. Thanks everybody. Have a good day.